So we'd like to welcome the Minister for Development now, since he has been working on energy issues in the government in the past and in the New Democracy Party. I think that this has been your preferred subject, energy, isn't that so, Minister? Yes, it has been, but I get to love whatever the leader of the party will decide. So since energy is a means for society and economy, and to be more specific, the low cost of energy is really important for the development of Greek economy that makes sure that we have social cohesion. I think that we will have a very good cooperation in the Ministry of for Energy regarding the transformation of the energy sector to the benefit of growth. These two subjects are not foreign to each other. So let's start with this. At the level of growth and development of the country, can green transition play a part of a growth leverage, because we have the great challenge of energy transition and green transition? Can this become as an important factor for development and growth in the Greek economy? I think that it is a one-way street. If we want to have sustainable growth, development, sustainable society, so we need to have green transition and green transformation. Green transition means that we're talking about an horizontal transformation of society and economy in a way so as to achieve social cohesion and environmental protection. These go hand in hand together. What do I mean by that? We see the impact of climate crisis. We saw that what happened in Thessaly a few months ago, what had happened only a year ago in Thessaly, what happens in other regions in Greece and everywhere in the world vis-à-vis the world phenomena that would repeat themselves every 20 or 50 years are seen every year. For instance, heat waves. You remember that we had two waves of heat waves in 2021 in summer that lasted more than 13 days. So it was the biggest heat wave, the longest heat wave we had ever in Greece. And this came last summer as well. So environmental protection does have an existential character in nature for the planet and for economy and society, because we need more energy, because energy leads to generation of CO2, and then we have the phenomenon of climate change. Therefore, which societies will be sustainable? Those that will be able to tackle the impact of climate crisis and that will adjust to the demands that have to do with the climate protection, those that will be able to reduce our environmental footprint. This calls for a loss of investments. Such investments bring forward growth, but there needs to be a change of culture, a change of attitude and behavior of citizens. This is why I say that green transition is associated with economy, and definitely it can achieve sustainable growth rates and jobs, but it has to be combined with a change in the behavior of citizens if we are to achieve our goals and become pioneers. Despite that, for already existing businesses, productive businesses, there is an issue of added burden due to the energy cost. How can we combine this? How can we successfully reply to the demand for adjustment due to climate crisis and at the same time protect entrepreneurship against the burden of this energy cost? Why do we have increased energy cost? For two reasons. Because in order to generate power, we use imported fossil fuel, which is really expensive and very volatile in vis-à-vis the prices, depending on the geopolitical developments, and therefore we have a very fluid geopolitical environment in the past few years. And secondly, because we have a very high tax, carbon tax. Therefore, why do we have this carbon tax? Because we needed to get rid of the cause of climate change. So the aim would be to exploit the competitive advantage of Greece, solar and wind potential. Have we done anything in the past few years? Well, yes, there has been a revolution since 2015, 2018. We have constructed many megawatts plants. And what is a way for us to achieve competitive prices in energy? To generate energy from the sun with a cost of 50 to 55 euros. When if we are talking about natural gas, we're talking about more than 120 euros, or for lignite, more than 170 euros. And Greece, for the first time, I've repeated this time and time again, does have a competitive advantage as compared to the northern European countries vis-à-vis the cost of energy, because always Greece had a poor lignite vis-à-vis the thermal value. So it would take more lignite for us to achieve the same heating value, whereas Greece and the south have a double solar radiation than the rest of Europe. This is where we need to invest. This is where we have invested. And if you check the statistics, you'll see that within the crisis, although traditionally in the past decades, the cost for the generation of power and the wholesale cost was either the most expensive or the second most expensive. You'll see that in the crisis, although we do import natural gas, there is a convergence that starts to be seen. We are high. Well, we're not first, but we might be the fourth or fifth most expensive country. So we are starting to converge with the European average. Why? Because we introduce more RES in our systems, and this is where we need to accelerate. You talked about that earlier. Statistically, energy is one of the most attractive countries for RES stations to be installed. Yes, this in accordance with the Ernst & Young study. They believe that we are number one investments destination globally. Yes, but what I'm saying is that this trend, because many people who are now listening to us are business people, and they try to identify the trends and see to what extent they can be involved in this sector. Do you believe that this trend will be ongoing in the future? This attractiveness, is it adequate in order for investments to be implemented here in Greece? As we speak, we have installed capacity together with a hydro power, 14, 15 gigawatts. We need 27 gigawatts this year. This year we need 27. By 2030, we need more than 70 gigawatts after 2030. So investments will continue with the RES industry. Of course, we're talking about investments that will be capital intensive, because they will have to be combined with storage. So we need to have storage means for green energy, be them batteries or pumping, pump storage, etc. So let us remind the people that we were amongst the first who had a tender created with a specific system that other countries want to emulate. A very balanced scheme that ensures that we will have storage capacity, but at a very low cost for the sector overall, because we should not forget that all investments, be them in generation means, or in networks, or in interconnections between Greece and the neighboring countries, need to be investments that are well balanced so that they can be combined with an ultimate cost that will be competitive. This is the ultimate criterion. Yes, precisely. And always the measures that we would promote were measures that would make sure that this was achieved. Investment appetite and lower cost for the consumer. Do you have any fears? Are there procedures that will make sure that we have this investment appetite going on, avoiding overheating that will lead to a bubble, potentially, or a crisis? You see that we have done so many things as a government in the past few years, and we go on in order to avoid the creation of such bubbles, in order to be able to give investors the opportunity. I'm talking about investors who do have technical capability as well as financial capability to proceed to major investments with the use of letters of guarantees, etc., in order for those who can do the projects to be the ones who will proceed to the actual implementation of such investments. So from that point onwards, we are not afraid. There's always concern, but I don't think that anyone should be afraid if the risk has been already analyzed and and there are ways to manage it and tackle it. So we've drawn an energy strategy. Well, we are exclusively talking about energy, and we aren't talking about growth and the other sectors that will help the country grow. But anyway, we have drawn a strategy both in the energy sector as well as in the growth of the country in general that provides for many different scenarios. And depending on the scenarios, we have ready-made solutions to tackle obstacles and problems. Scenarios in accordance with the indicators of Greek economy, scenarios that pertain to the fluidity in the geopolitical system, etc. But we need to know that Greece right now does have conditions that are not found anywhere else. There's political stability, a new government with a clean horizon for next years, a powerful economy that has been considered as suitable for investments. We have a growth rate and a government, of course, which has the absolute will to proceed to a powerful reforms agenda, because reforms have not been completed in a country, nor can we feel satisfied that we have done our best to make sure that there is a favorable investment environment or that there's going to be a continuous sustainable growth. Continuous improvement is the priority for a government. Do we have anything else to say vis-à-vis the improvement of this investment environment in these sorts of initiatives, etc.?
First of all, connection of R&D with industry and the other economic sectors. According to the last data of the European Commission, Greece was on the top in terms of R&D and sixth in absolute numbers, which means that we are investing a lot in research and development. Now, how does that translate into services and products in industry, in the economy? This is the challenge for us, and this is linked to energy, because it makes no sense to import all the equipment needed for the transition. The challenge, the question is, how do we produce domestically the equipment needed. A few days ago, I visited the Elefsis shipyard. The Elefsina shipyard was dying. There was an investor, a Greek-American investor, who started with the Syros shipyard. He went on to acquire the Elefsina shipyard, and I must tell you, 500 ships are involved in this project. And today, at the Elefsina shipyard, the foundations for offshore wind installations can be built because they have the right equipment. They have the installations there. Together with Alexandra Zdoukou, Undersecretary of Energy and Environment, we worked for 3 years together, and we prepared some plans like the pre-green, producing green, which will lead to the production of electric vehicles. We have large Greek companies that can build mega factories to build batteries. So there will be several billion euros spent in the next years to buy lithium batteries. Why not have them produced domestically? So in the next period, there will be several announcements about industries and about the production of equipment that will be used for several decades ahead, and this will be linked with R&D. More than 1 billion will be spent on research and development in the next years, and a large chunk of this will be channeled to green transition and green economy. So you mean a special status, a special regime for the manufacture of green equipment? I mean support of the manufacturing businesses that will produce equipment used for green transition and energy transition in Greece. That is very interesting. Now, in this context of the overall economy transition, there's also the question of greening industry itself. Is the Greek industry in the position to become greener, and are there any incentives from your ministry? I will go back to the common work done with Alexandra Zdoukou. There are businesses that are being supported with financial tools and also with the appropriate regulatory framework. For example, carbon capture, the cement industry. We have 2 big investments in 2 large cement industries in Greece, and the money is coming from, one of it is financed from EU Commission means, and the other one will be involved in carbon capture and will be financed from us. And in terms of hydrogen, there are tools, financing tools of the development ministry and other financing tools for the support of the production of green hydrogen. So you see that our 2 ministries, that is the Ministry of Development and Environment, are closely working together. What would be the message that you would like to finally convey? Well, 4 years and 3 months have passed since we came into government, and in these 3.5 years, Greece has built an economy that seems to have a larger growth pace vis-à-vis the other European countries. Also, the political and geopolitical stability of the country has been established, and there are national policies promoted that make Greece a front-runner in Europe in terms of green transition, in terms of overcoming the health crisis of the pandemic, and also overcoming the energy crisis. This shows that Greece can be a forerunner. When there is a specific plan, we can really do miracles. If you take the example of the energy sector, we have been moving ahead in a much faster pace than other European countries. Industry is now carrying out experiments to produce gallium, which is a rare earth material. And also, there are plans for interconnections of Greece with Cyprus. And we're about to repeat the miracle of the 1960s by manufacturing, as I said, producing ships and floating platforms. Let me tell you that in Volos today, tanks are being manufactured, and not many people know about that. So what does that mean? It means that Greece can manufacture, it can produce everything. We may be implementing things at a small scale. So the challenge is to expand this scale. And this is connected with appropriate financing tools that will provide incentives for businesses. And also this means we need to link R&D with industry so as to create more value-added products. Let us hope that this political project will succeed. I wish you all the best, and I hope that next year we will meet again. I believe that not much will have changed until then. You will all still be in this position. Nobody knows that, only God.